In this section we're going to talk about three things, and that is union. Union is an operator that we can use inside of a select query. Concat, which will allow us basically to put one or more fields into the same row. And then count, which allows us to count the number of records, and we can specify a where clause. So all three things are pretty easy to do and understand. So if we start with union, now union has a few rules that you have to have in order to use it. So if you're using it with two tables, then your two tables have to have the same they have to have the same amount of columns, and they have to have the same data type. Alright, because we need to compare the two. So let's take a look. We can't do it with our stored database because we don't have two columns that are basically the same. So I created a new database called test, and we have a customers table and a vendors table. And if we look at the structure of customers, we have the primary key, which is customer ID, customer name, contact name, address, city, and zip code. And if we look at the vendors table, we have vendor ID, vendor name, contact name, address, city, and zip code. So these four fields we have in both customers and vendors, and they're also the same data type, same everything. Alright, and we have some values. Let's look at the customers. So we basically have three people. They have an ID, they have a name, contact name, address, city, zip code. These aren't the real zip codes, by the way, obviously. And then in the vendors, we have their vendor name, contact name, address, city, zip code. Alright, so now that we know what's in the table, let's write in a select query. Alright, so let's say select city from customers, union select city from vendors, and we'll say order by city. Alright, so basically we're just calling two select statements, and we're sticking union in the middle of them and then ordering them by the city. So I'm going to copy that, and if we run this down here, it gives us every city that is in the two tables. Alright, and this query actually they're not repeating the city. If you remember, we have quite a few Bostons. I think there's two Miamis. They're all putting it into one value instead of writing it all out, which we can write them all out if we just stick in union all. Alright, so if we do that, now you can see every instance of each city. Alright, so pretty easy to understand. Let's do a query that's a bit more complicated. We'll put in a where clause, and yeah, we'll put in a where clause. Alright, so we'll say select city and zip code. Alright, so we're selecting two fields this time. From customers, we'll say union all, and then select city and zip code from vendors, and then we're going to put a where zip code is equal to 11111, and order by city. Okay. Alright, so that gives us, actually that shouldn't be in there. That something wasn't right in that query. Select city zip code from customers. Oh, we need the where clause up there as well. Alright, that should do it. Alright, so it gives us all the Boston and 1-1 zip codes. Now if I go ahead and remove the all, you should only get one back. Yep, so we get one city and zip code. Alright, so that's how union works. Now let's get into concat. Alright, so we'll go back to our main database for this. Alright, so concat will let us have more than one value in one row. Alright, values from more than one column in one row. So let's say select ID and concat. Now we open some parentheses and we put in whatever fields we want. So first name, let's do first name and email. So we're going to do first name, comma, and then in between these quotes is what you want to have in between the two values. So I'm just going to put a hyphen and then a comma and then email. Alright, so I want the user's first name and the user's email to be in the same record, the same row. Alright, so we're going to say as name and email. So that'll be the table header for that column. And then we just got to say from customers. Alright, so let's run that. And now we have a table with the ID as well as a table with the name and the email. So you can put whatever you want in between them. I just put a hyphen. For instance, if you had maybe an employees table and you had their name and then you had a department. Alright, so if you had, I don't know, Sally and then you had department, I don't know, IT, you could have it say Sally from IT, alright, in your table. So you can pretty much put anything together you want. You can put more than two if you want. It's a really good aspect of MySQL. So let's do one more, just so we can drill it in your brain. I know it's not too difficult, but it's good to see more than one example. So we'll say select ID. Actually, let me just paste in what we had there. So we'll say name. Let's do the products table this time. We'll say name, price, and here we'll just say for the heading, product and price, products. Alright, and we can even put in a $sign right here. Okay, we'll run that. And now we have our product name with a hyphen and then the price with a $sign in front of it. Alright, so that is concat. So we save the easiest for last, and that is count. Basically, it's just going to return a number of rows. Okay, so we can say select count, and we can use the asterisk for all. From products. Okay, so let's run that, and that gives us 12. Okay, so we have 12 products. We can also do where clauses. So say select count from products, and then we'll say where category is equal to 1. Alright, so it says 6th. So we have 6 products that are in category 1. Alright, let's do a couple more here. Let's paste that in, and we can also use ands and ors. So we'll say and price is greater than 200. So we get 2. So there's 2 products in category 1 that have a price of over 200. Alright, now we can also select, we can count distinct rows. Okay, so let's say select count all. Actually, no, we don't want to do count all. Let's say distinct category. Okay, select count distinct category from products. And it's given us 3. That means that inside the products category, the products table, there's 3 different categories. So let's check that out. If we go to products, and we have category 1, 6, and 5. Alright, so it gave us 3 because it's counting the distinct values. So those things are pretty easy. Alright, so but they are crucial if you want to know all about MySQL and how to write queries. Alright, so in the next video we'll get into grouping and also writing subqueries.